It's time for Breaking Chains with Healthy Monday, where we will discuss spiritual, mental, and physical health issues. It's Breaking Chains with Healthy Monday on YAT Radio.
Good evening, good evening. This is Elder Katrina Kennedy saying good evening to you all. Welcome to Breaking Chains with Healthy Monday. Tonight we have with us Queen Sheena and King Bo Williams to discuss with us tonight, healthy role models in the male community and primarily, I forgot about the rest of what we were supposed to talk about. It's been so good just to have a conversation with you all, Bo and Sheena. So why don't you all just delve in and please forgive me.
No problem. Hello, my beautiful people out there. How's everybody doing this evening? I hope all is well physically, spiritually, and mentally with all you beautiful people.
Good evening, my kings and queens out there. How you all doing? I'm looking forward to another healthy conversation this Monday evening, and I know everybody probably looks sleepy from the time change, but bear with us. We're going to make it through together, I promise.
Okay. So today we're going to talk about positive role models. We're going to speak about that from the male perspective. From my understanding, you ladies had a wonderful chat last week, and so I want to continue a little bit about that, put my little 2 cents and input in with that. Second, we're going to be talking about healthy families, what that is, what it means. To everybody, it means something else, but I want to open up that discussion. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about healthy communities along with healthy families, what that means, what that looks like, how we can achieve it together, and we're going to talk about, of course, we're going to talk about the steps and some solutions to get that. And finally, we're going to talk about the importance of being fit. Now, we talk about health, and I know we always talk about physically, mentally, and spiritually, and we focus on health in different aspects. So tonight, I don't think we really touched on just being fit and the importance of being fit. A lot of us would like to be able to defend ourselves in a situation, or would like to be able to get out of a dangerous situation if we ever came upon one. And sometimes, if we're not fit enough, we'll stay in danger, or we won't be able to get out of danger if need be. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So, guys, relax, prepare for a wonderful night, and just hang out with us.
Queen Katrina, did you want to add anything?
No, ma'am. I'm just excited about tonight. I really am. I heard Bo say that he was going to put his 2 cents worth in. I think we can allow that. What do you think, Sheena?
Just two. So definitely. So when we're going to talk about the positive role models from the male perspective. When I'm out there in the community and I see these youngsters, I can tell that they're emulating people that they're currently around, from the way they walk, from the way they talk. Me and my wife run into smart, intelligent, young kids because we're around a lot of students all day. And when we run into well-spoken kids, we can almost tell that they have parents or a parent or people around them who care about them, who care about their speech, who care about how they talk, how they present themselves. And then when we run into the rambunctious youngsters, we can tell the people who are around them by the way they speak, how comfortable they are around adults. When I was young, even though I cussed around my friends from an early age, I would never cuss in front of an adult. Even if I didn't know that adult, I would feel so uncomfortable doing so. And if I did, I would have a guilt on me, like, oh my God, I just cussed in front of that adult or cussed at that adult. So an example is my wife was walking home from the store, I believe, and she came home to tell me the story about how the little girls were out there talking about how they're going to go beat these B's up and fight these other H's, and they were just cussing. They were just using this this language that was that you usually wouldn't hear coming from middle school kids. Very inappropriate language. They were talking violent, and I can almost tell that they do this often because they were comfortable enough to do this around an adult. You know, even almost bully a little girl in front of an adult. Of course, my wife said something to him because that's in our nature to say something to bring some attention to it. But so I say this to say that we as adults, especially as men, we have to always be on guard when we have youth around us. We have to watch how we talk. We have to watch how we walk. We have to watch how we talk about our women and how we treat our women in front of our youngsters, because they're going to emulate that, especially if the youngsters think we're cool. And they may only know us in one aspect of our life. So they may only know us for being a football coach. And they know I'm a cool dude because I'm their football coach. But that's all they know about me. So when I'm conducting other business around them, like, you know, hanging out with the women or hanging out with my friends or just in a community setting, or how I talk to my pals or my peers, they can be listening. And since they love me as a football coach, they can think that I'm a good male all around. So if I'm degrading women, calling women out of their name, degrading other people in my community for whatever reason, our kids will emulate that because they hold us at a standard. You know, a lot of kids, we're somebody's role model, even if we don't know it, especially when it comes to the youth. So us males, us men especially, we have to hold a conduct. We have to we have to, how do I say it? We have to have a strong code of conduct on how we act and approach situations out in the public, because somebody's watching. Also, we already have the stigma on us of being aggressive, of being monsters, of being, you know, violent. So I make it a point when I go places, even though I may look aggressive, or, you know, the sun may be in my eyes and I got to squinch my face and that may look real scary, I still always try to conduct myself in a respectable manner, because I never know who's watching. You know, the older I get, the more I find out people are definitely watching. So that especially goes for our youth that are in our communities, because a lot of times in our communities, and I'm talking about poor people or people in poverty, we have the tendency to hang out outside, whether it's due because the house may be too hot or the house may be overcrowded. We like to hang outside. So when we're hanging outside, for whatever reason we're hanging outside, maybe it's just because we love our porch, you know, we have to know that the youth are also hanging outside, and that we must conduct ourselves. So even, I know us as adults, we like to enjoy beer and we like to enjoy the fun parts of life, but we have to let the youth know by our actions or pulling them to the side and having conversations with them that certain stuff's not cool, even if I do partake in it, something like drinking. So you as a 15-year-old shouldn't feel pressure to drink because you see all these grown men out here, you know, and out of respect for these 15-year-olds and these other kids out here, I won't drink. You know, or I even been in situations where I told people, we had a giveaway last year, and it was a dude came to the giveaway and he was kind of drunk, and I don't mind people, you know, I'm a people person. I'm from the community, so I don't mind. But he was like over inebriated and he was kind of like bothering people, and he had this beer in his hand, and I had to respectfully tell him, like, man, you gotta go. For one, this is a park. There's kids around. You know, and then you're acting belligerent. So me has a I guess a positive community role model. I had to make that decision, and as I know now, I had people watching me. So my mentees that were there were able to see me and talk about it later on, how I told the dude to get out the park because it was kind of disrespectful to the kids and the family and the families that were around. So bottom line, what I'm saying is, especially to our men, we never know who's watching us, so we always want to act like somebody's watching, especially the youth, because we just never know, and most of the time somebody is. Like me and Sheena always say, you'll probably hear us say this 1,000 times, it definitely takes a village to raise our kids, to mold our youth. And that village is going to happen no matter what. So it's our duty to place our kids around people and around this village that's going to be positive to them and be positive to their life, point blank. So, like I say, coming from a man, we definitely got to hold ours down in the community and change the stigma of the mad black male that's just stomping through, and just, we have to change that stigma. Even though we have the right to be mad in this society, we don't have to hold true to that stigma. It's a time and place for everything, because we don't want our generation is not the same as the next generation. So, yes, a lot of poor black males have been victims of this society, and we hold the scars and we hold the pain from that, and we legitimately can be mad because we're marginalized worse than anybody else in this society. So we legitimately can be mad, but our next generation doesn't have to go through the things that we went through, so we can make it better for them to walk. So I know I'm kind of rambling on a little bit, but I think this is important for everybody to hear. Definitely.
You're not rambling. You're doing good.
Thank you. There's too many studies saying that our youth are taking the exact same path that, that a lot of, especially in my generation, have taken, and that's the playground to prison pipeline. Going to juvenile hall as a youth, back and forth to juvenile hall, to as soon as you turn an adult, to county jails and prison. So a lot of kids are on that same track because they're glorifying the wrong things. So one of my goals is, and one of every man out there that's listening goal, it should be to get a youth to glorify something other than the detrimental things that's going to lead them into prison or early grades, point blank. So encouraging kids, and these kids, any youth that you're around from age 1 to 25, it doesn't matter. They'll let you know what they're interested in, and it's our job to encourage that. So if my little girl or my son or some youth around me say, oh, man, I went to a golf putting facility, and I really love golf, and I want to try it again, I'm not going to be like, oh, man, get up out of here with that boring sport. I'm not going to teach you how to play no golf. We ain't got no time for that. I'm going to try to make some time for that because my kids showed some interest in that. You never know where that can lead. Same thing with the other stigmas in our community, such as swimming, telling our kids to be something of a engineer, or, leading our kids into STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics fields. Especially in the South. One of the things that we like to do, and this is everybody in the South, we like to encourage our kids, especially our young males, the sports, and which is good, because with sports opens a lot of doors. But sometimes that could be a negative because they think that's their only way out of the situation that they're in is to play sports. And if they don't make it to that next level, then they have failed their family, failed their community. So even if they get injured, say a high school player, he's ranked to go to a top college, or ranked high, and he has a knee injury. He kind of held the weight of his family on his back. So now he has an injury and he can't play. Now that depression and all the other mental health issues come into play. So a lot of times we put a lot on our youth when we promote only football, because only a few are going to make it to the NFL. We only have, 50 teams in the NFL, 40-something teams. I haven't been keeping up with it. So But we only have a few teams in the NFL, so all of our kids won't make it. So one of the things that us as adults do across the board is to find things that our kids are interested in and encourage that. And if our kids lack interest in things, it's our job to open their eyes to new things that they haven't been exposed to before. So if my kids seem to get boring with our regular daily duties, I'm going to the next thing, and the next thing might be building model cars. The next thing might be building robotics, or going outside and building tree houses and stuff like that. So definitely encourage our kids to do outside the box things, and they'll give it back to us. They'll give it back to us in experience when they become adults, because they would have been exposed to more than we have. But anyway, I'm going to go. You want to add anything to that?
No, everything you said was pretty dead on and straightforward. I'm going to let you take the floor, since you were missing in action last week. But, yeah, you're doing good.
Right.
Would you like to add anything, Queen Katrina?
No, Queen. No, ma'am. I am like you. I'm just allowing Bo to take the floor, and I'm really enjoying, because what he's saying is very important for our youth and for our, male role models and male parents. It's just important, and it's really good to hear it from a male perspective. So keep going, Bo.
Okay. And so I want to talk. I'll hop back to that topic, but I want to go on to this next topic because it's very important to me, and I'm pretty sure everybody has somebody that they know that can relate to a situation as such. So imagine your house as it is right now, and you smell smoke, and you realize the only door that you can possibly get out is smoke coming from under that door. And all you have is a window next to your bed that you have to get out of. Do you have the ability to kick that glass out that window? If you have burglar bars, pull the burglar bar and climb out that window. Same thing in a car accident. You get into a car accident, your car's engulfed, or your car is upside down, you smell gasoline, you can still move, you're conscious. Will you be able to get yourself out of that situation? If someone attacked you in a Walmart parking lot, would you be able to defend yourself to get away, or to scream, or to get some help? Would you be able to get out of a dangerous situation, or is your health going to hinder you? So I want to talk about a little bit about the importance of being fit and teaching our youth. Some of us, especially talking to our elders, and they're not expected to be able to hop out a window. But if you're 25, if you're 30 years old, if you can still walk, if you're still functioning on a daily basis, you should be fit enough to be able to at least attempt to save your own life and someone else's too, if possible. If a dog got behind me today, I don't know how fast I run, but I think I'll be able to hop on a car or hop on a structure or something to get away, or at least circle a tree or something. So, but I just want to talk about the importance of being fit, being able to walk, being able to run a little bit. In Mobile, I think this is one of the rainiest cities in America. It may top the list any given year of being the rainiest city in America. As during the hurricane season, the Gulf of Mexico is liable to get hit by a hurricane Cat 2 or better at any given day, any given time, because the Gulf is warmer, so on and so forth. We all know the story. In the event catastrophe happens, we have to be able to do something. And we can't just rely on our car. We can't rely on that, because in the event of Katrina or something, gas won't mean nothing once you get so far. So I definitely want to tell people to encourage our kids to get up and move get from in front of those screens for so long, and I encourage parents who are able to get up and move. There's a saying, a cliche saying, that a body at rest stays at rest, and a body in motion stays in motion. That's one of the truest things that I ever heard. Even though it's cliche and it sounds like just sounds like somebody saying something, but that's true. As long as we exercise our body, move our body, get our blood pumping, we're going to get the oxygen. We're going to get all the healing power we need to our body because our blood's pumping right. We're getting plenty of oxygen in our blood to take it to our vessels, to take it to our heart, to take it to our brain for us to function at a high rate. See all the time, and I'm pretty sure we see amazing stories of 70-year-old grandmothers running 12 miles a day, still working out in the gym. That can be us. That could be our kids. Too many times today, they say people are living longer. I beg to differ. I think people are just dying a little longer, So we're getting diagnosed with these diseases in our 20s that we have to, that we've accepted to live with our whole life. So you have 20 and 30-year-olds getting diagnosed with diabetes, and it's almost like a death sentence to some people because they're like, oh, I got diabetes. One day I'm just waiting for it to come on and finish doing what it got to do because we've seen that done to our big mamas. We've seen that done to our aunties. We've seen it. I personally watched my grandmother lose a toe, lose a leg, lose the whole leg. Same thing on the other side, lose a couple toes, a leg, the other leg, fingers. So I've seen it. I've seen family members, close friends accept diabetes and say, this is just something I got to live with lifelong, versus saying if I get a little fit or if I've been fit, I wouldn't have been in this position to start with. So I just want to encourage everybody to push themselves, and the holidays are coming up. So me and Sheena, we don't really do the holidays, but we don't mind doing some of the food that come along with the holidays. So we're gonna be talking a lot about healthy food choices coming up too. But I just want right now, I want to encourage everybody to be more fit than they were yesterday today, which means and you don't have to go get a extreme 2-3 hour workout, or you ain't got to go pay $30-$40 for some DVD. No, we need to start walking a little bit more. As simple as that. Like I say, we can trick ourselves into exercising, and you wouldn't even know it by when you pull up to Walmart, park in a nice shady spot at the end of the parking lot, and walk to the door. Take the stairs instead of an elevator if you go into a building. Be conscious about the steps you take. Make time for yourself to do a little workout. A lot of us sit and watch TV. I don't know, people really don't watch regular TV no more. I know they don't have commercials on cable, but between shows or put your timer on. Every 15 minutes I'm going to stand up and do 20 squats. Every 30 minutes I'm going to get down there and do a couple push-ups just to be a little fitter than you were the day before or the time before. So another thing, we have to consciously be aware of the things that I want to say weigh us down and steal our energy, so that prevents us from being having the energy to be fit or to try to get fit. And that includes people. That includes the things we're putting in our body. I know when I eat heavy, and we're pretty much vegetarian. We don't eat any meat, occasionally some tuna, something like that. But even when I do eat real heavy, or I've ate something that was fried or ate too many of this, I feel heavy and I feel like I don't want to do anything. I feel lazy, and I couldn't possibly boost myself up to go do some push-ups or go do some sit-ups because I just feel bad from the things I've ate. It doesn't happen too much with me because I'm a happy person, but sometimes a person can beat you up so much that you don't feel like, you are motivated to get up this morning, work out, have a good meal, and you get a phone call and somebody just ruins your day with some bad information or just some negative energies pushed your way, and now you're aggravated and you're irritated and you don't want to be bothered, how can you push yourself to do a workout or to see fit, to get fit, and you're irritated, So we have to know how to identify and maybe block some of these things from happening in the first place. In the first case, with the food, we have to know what we're putting in our body. We have to know that if we're going to eat all these French fries, that we're going to feel it later, and that there's going to be a chance of laziness and sluggishness, and you know how fried food does us, and so on and so forth with the other foods that are bad for us. And I'm just going to say meat, period. And I know the holidays are coming up, and everybody's going to be eating a lot of meat, but we're gonna talk about substituting some of those meat, some of that turkey for things. I think our next couple shows we could dedicate some time to substitute or how to stay strong during Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. So how to and Kwanzaa.
That sounds really good.
We're gonna start us a support group and get everybody through the holidays.
That's right.
We don't need nobody eating and driving sluggish now. getting full at grandma's house, driving home with the stomach too full with too much. That's dangerous.
Come on now, that's the way we do though.
Yeah.
We eat at everybody else's house, and then we got to go home, and we're all lethargic and can't comprehend where we're going.
Right. And that actually, and we blame it on the turkey. We say, the turkey do it to it. The turkey made me sleepy. No.
That's right.
Everything you ate, it was the potatoes, it was the mashed potatoes, the baked potatoes, the sweet potatoes, the candy potatoes. It was the turnip greens, the collard greens.
Oh, my goodness.
It was every.
It messed me up. I thought it was just a turkey.
It's so funny. We got pictures of the kids when they were little during the holidays, and they just stuffed and they just look fat and just over bloated. It's so funny. So, but like I say, the holidays is a time to gather, to enjoy your family, to enjoy loved ones, so that we can get caught up in doing a lot of eating and a lot of drinking because we feel good, we happy, we're around our family. But like I say, most people pay for it the next couple days because they feel guilty about it and their body feel bad about it.
And I'm going to interject real quick in talking about the food for the holidays and what have you. I just had a thought that I've been saying for the past maybe 4 or 5 years, but the movie Soul Food, as we all know, Big Mama and all the family, it's when you think about it, it's basically, okay, they're all sitting at the table after Big Mama dies, from the diabetes, from eating the wrong things and all that and what have you. But here you have the whole family sitting around the same food and having the same habits that killed Big Mama in the first place. So nobody's really learned anything, really. We just repeat, like we said, the diabetes ain't hereditary, but the bad eating habits are. So we all have to, like I said, we have to realize that we're still promoting these things, like I said, these preventable diseases that are killing us, really. So, like I said, just changing up, not totally changing up the diet. Like I said, maybe instead of a ham, you'll get a turkey this year. Maybe instead of doing the greens with the pork in it, you could do like a turkey neck or something. But like I said, you don't have to totally get rid of it, but you can get the calories, the trans fats, the extra stuff that we don't need to be putting in our body. We can definitely tweak the recipe a little bit and still enjoy, like I said, the family gatherings and what the holidays are all about in the first place.
Maybe that would be a good subject for next time to kind of give us some modification on certain foods that we prepare. I know that I've started to modify, but
go ahead.
It's really hard, especially when it comes up to the holidays. If you cooking for Big Mama now, like I do, They don't want their greens with they want it the way they want it. But what I've started to do is take mine out, cook mine separately, and differently. And sometimes I'll, do a little something like add extra onion or bell pepper or what have you. And when you get used to it, you don't miss it. But there are so many people that really aren't aware of how to modify. So I think that would be really huge for the holidays that's coming up. And I'm not saying, do a cooking show, but I'm saying just kind of help people to understand that you don't have to, just walk around eating air. You can eat good foods and not have all of the extra things in it, like Sheena was saying earlier about, substituting, I don't know, fat back for smoked turkey necks or something like that.
Right.
Because believe it or not, I remember, this is kind of funny, but it's not funny. But last year at Thanksgiving, we were sitting around at the table, and we were getting dinner ready for a family gathering. And my cousin had these greens in his garden, and I'm telling you, these greens are so tender, the collards now, that when he picked them, they were just like paper thin. But he insisted on getting these ingredients. You get you some lard and some ham hocks, and you cook them and you add you some, onions or whatever. And we're sitting there looking at him like, Lord, do they still make that? Do you know I was floored when I went into the store and saw in certain stores now that, yes, he was serious. He meant, because I kept saying, what you mean? You mean Crisco, right? He said, no, Lord. And I'm like, for real?
Lord.
For real. But I was floored to see that they really do still make those things in certain stores.
Yes.
So
and,
I was a little upset because I wouldn't let them make it like that. But, we need that education.
Yeah.
Like, no, we ain't no Lord.
Yeah. Look, that's where I cut the. So I found out I was eating. This was recent too, and I've been a vegetarian for a while, and I was eating refried beans. So I finally turned the can around to see what was in the refried beans, and I guess what they're refrying it in is lard. So I said, man, I've been this whole time. But definitely, I think we should dedicate a show to giving people examples or maybe some modifications on their foods versus, using herbs versus just salt. A lot of times we just throw salt on everything. I watch my family members throw salt on noodles after they put the seasoning for the noodle pack in it. So I'm like, salt, seasoning, pepper, this. It's like, I done watch people do seasoning salt, garlic salt, and lemon pepper salt. It's like that's 3 different salts, and they might think they're getting seasoning, but it has a salt content to it. And like you said, we pass.
I was going to say, I wanted to interject when you were talking about, and I know we're not on this right now, but I just wanted to say this one thing. I think what a lot of people don't realize is when you look at lemon pepper, I'm going to use that as an example because you just brought up a very important fact. It's not necessarily the seasoning that you use, but it's also what's in the seasoning. You think about it. This lady said this to me, my mother, many, many years ago about her using tenderizer. And I found it really funny, but it stuck with me. She says, if you think that a tenderizer can tenderize a roast, just think what it's doing to your organs. And
you ain't lying.
I started looking at ingredients, right, and it's got MSG in it. So, you're getting what you think is lemon pepper, and it's healthier than salt. Maybe it is if it doesn't have the monosodium glutamate in it, right?
Right.
So it's not necessarily just what you use, but it's the ingredients in it. We don't want to use fresh herbs or fresh spices, but it's really better.
And we can't, and we can't trust these companies to tell us what's really going on. We have to do our own investigating. So we have to know what
That's
MSG
true.
is. We have we can they're making it look good. They putting fresh. They're using words like organic. All natural.
Oh, yeah.
So we have to investigate and know that these companies are about making money. It's very few companies out there that with a mission statement that says our goal is to get fresh stuff to the people who need it. It's not many companies out there. Most companies is our goal is to increase our bottom line, and we're going to do it by any means necessary, and we're going to push the limit,
Right.
and we're going to change laws if we need to, So definitely we can't trust them. We'll have a discussion about that. I would like to, my friend Barbara, she knows a lot about the trickery that the grocery system uses on us to make us shop, to keep us in the store, she knows all the trickery on that, and then maybe she can help us out on that one.
That would be really good.
Yeah, and she does, and I'm pretty sure she could duplicate it again if we get enough people that's interested. She can do a class, and she can teach, and it's wonderful. It opened our eyes to so much about the grocery stores, and she'll teach you the psychology behind going into the grocery stores, the music, the lighting, the colors, how come all the grocery stores are pretty much set up the same, how when you sign up for programs, how they get your information and they know exactly the demographics of their shoppers. They use a lot of they actually have think tanks that sit down for these big grocery stores and say, how can we sell more of this? How can we sell more of that? Where do we have to put the sodas? What eye level are we going to put this at? Are we going to put this at the kids' eye level? So it's so much that goes on involved. And once you learn the tricks, you'll put your defense up and you'll be able to protect yourself in the store from making frivolous buys because they didn't put it right there conveniently for you to do it. So definitely. But I want to in a pharmacy. How come the pharmacy always takes so long for them to put your pills in and all that? Because they want you to, especially Walmart, because they want you to stop and shop and frivolously spend money, or you have to walk around the whole store to get to this. It's so much stuff. All the good
it's
trickery.
Amazing you say that. Like you need to leave that alone, Bo, because I wonder sometimes you can walk into a pharmacy, right, and there's no one standing in line, but you give them your prescription, and it takes them 35 minutes or longer to fill one prescription. And I'm telling you, there's no one in line. And I'm
you're like, man, I see the pills right there. They go to Bob.
Exactly. I'm like, okay, I got to count them. I mean, how many times you got to count them? And I'm sure you got a counter back there. How many times? And I'm like, what is the deal? And I'm kind of like, I'll stand there because, I'm not in a rush. I'm standing there or I'm sitting reading a magazine or something, trying to figure out, what is the deal? Why does it take so long? Now you just you gave me the secret.
Yep. They want you to go ahead and walk.
Buy something else.
Yep, exactly. So it's trickery involved with all this stuff. So like I say, if you want to go in the store and get some milk, they know people go in the store get milk, eggs, and bread at a high rate. A lot of times, if you think about it, where's the milk at? It's in the furthest corner from the entrance because they want you to walk through the whole store just to get that gallon of milk or those eggs for breakfast or something and be composed and want to buy something else that you're seeing because these bright chips are 2 for $5, 3 for $10 over here. So, how come the milk is not by the door and the eggs and all the easy stuff that we like to get, trickery. So, well, we'll talk more about that. I wanted to get back to even though this is not our topic either, but I wanted to get back to the foods a little bit. And one of the things we have to realize is why did we start eating these foods in the first place? So, why do we eat the whole pig? Why did we have to use lard? Stuff like that. So when we look back to our history with the slave culture, a lot of our diet comes right from the slave culture of eating the slops, the worst cuts of the meat. And that includes the beef and the pig. Eating the worst cuts of it, even down to chicken gizzards. A lot of people, I think that's chicken stomach lining or chicken stomach. It's like, it's like we didn't pick that out and say, oh, yeah, let's eat chicken stomachs. It's like that's all we had to eat, so that's what we started to eat. We had lard because of the pigs. When they slaughtered the pigs, we weren't going to be able to go in the house and get no imported olive oil, get good vegetable oil from the corn that we've been growing in the fields. We had to use lard. We had to do what we had to do. So I want to say to my beautiful black kings and queens out there, we no longer eat like this. There might be a day where we have to go back to eating a certain way, but right now we don't have to eat like this. We can eat to live now. We don't have to eat to survive. And we know even the portions that our ancestors were getting in those fields, they weren't eating whole bowls of hog maw, and they weren't eating whole slabs of hog head cheese, and the intestines and the chitlins. They weren't eating whole 2-3 bowls of chitlins. They probably ate a few and passed it on. Same thing with the greens and how they used to cook the greens. Dandelion greens, used to fry them in lard because that was the best way to get them. Fry them out, like you said, your uncle or the fella you told us a story about, fry them in some lard and do this. That was the best way to get the best flavor. That's what they had. We're no longer subject to that. We can now use other avenues of eating our greens. We don't have to put a big back fat in our greens. We don't even have to put meat in our greens. We don't even have to boil our greens. There's so many other things that we can do to enjoy our eating instead of eating that was what was passed down to us, and we've glorified it. That's the bad thing about it, is when you start glorifying these negative behaviors, and this message here goes to the youth, to the elders, to anybody. When you glorify negative behavior, that's where the problem comes, and then the whole culture starts glorifying it. So when we glorify gangster rap music and the kids start acting gangster rapish and they start doing the things that the gangster rap is talking about, that's a fault on the culture for glorifying that in the first place, saying, yeah, that's cool, that's us, that's our culture. And the same thing with our eating culture. The Mobile Junior League did a study, and they did a study with the elementary kids throughout high school, and they basically said one out of every other kid in our community, in the black community, is on the way to have diabetes, point blank. And they said the number one thing we can do, and there was more stuff in the study about negative stats. I won't get into that right now, but they said the number one thing that we can do here today in Mobile, Alabama, and me and my wife has been saying this, is to change the love for the Southern traditional diet, which is high in salts, sugars, and fat. I couldn't believe even now how much sugar people put in pies. Even the bean pie. Me and my wife call ourselves making a bean pie because it's healthy or allegedly healthy, and they talking about put 2 cups of sugar, and I just couldn't see myself 2.5 cups of sugar. And I just couldn't see myself putting 2.5 cups of sugar in the pie because I got to eat this afterwards. It's like, no, I can't put So, once you see how much 2.5 cups of sugar is, you're trying to eat healthy. It's like, man, I've been having this same sugar in here for like 4 months, man. I'm just using it for coffee and stuff like that. Right. And all of a sudden, 2.5 cups, that's like over. No, it's like I couldn't do that. So I put maybe like a cup and a half, and I changed. I immediately put some brown sugar in, and I immediately changed the recipe. But I say that to say usually most pies call for 2 cups of sugar or more. And we can eat, I know I can eat a whole pie or almost a whole pie sitting down, like over there talking about with some ice cream. We can, so we have to definitely be conscious on what we're putting in our body. And they say one slice of pizza has what, 600 calories, almost 1,000 calories, depending on what toppings you have on it. So imagine if the recommended, and I know we don't go by the recommended diet of, especially with the Europeans, we kind of different, but they recommending 2,000, 2,500 calories, and we eating 2 slices of pizza, and we getting that all those calories in just those 2 slices, let alone the brownies we get with it. Cheesecake, and I think it's the same, like 600, 1,000 calories per slice, and I know I could eat 2 or 3 slices of cheesecake, and you're actually getting all your calorie intake in just that alone, that one setting. And most of us aren't going to burn 100 or 1,000 calories off at all. You know, we're going to burn our regular calories that we burn off by walking, and this could transition us back into being fit by walking and doing the extra stuff we're supposed to do. So we eat this pizza, 2, 3 slices. That's our calories for the day. We go home and eat dinner after that. You know, after a while, we even consumed 6,000 calories, and we haven't intentionally worked none of the calories back off. And then you're going to sleep on it, and those calories just build, which turns into fat, which prevents you from being fit. And I'm saying being fit because I'm a heavy set guy, and I think I have the ability to, if there was a fire, to at least save my family, you know. And I know I can kick this window out. I know I could probably kick the door down. I know I could do a lot of stuff. I know I'm fit. I could climb on a roof if need be, climb a tree. I can run with the kids. I'm fit enough to handle my business if need be. So, like I say, you could take a 300-400 pound football player and you say, man, you're 300-400 pounds, and you look real unfit. But try to move them, you know, versus you get a career. You know, some of these football players, you know, look at them on TV, but when they're in our presence, we're like, man, you're huge. You know, how could you possibly move as fast as you move on that football field? You're like wider than a door, you know, taller than a door. So, yeah. So, you know, they're still fit. Then you might see a 400-pound dude walking down the street in Mobile, and you say, you know, that he's definitely not fit. He can barely, you know, he's winded from just walking, or he barely has the wind, or she barely has the wind to hop on and off of this bus or hop in and out of their car. People struggle, and I see a lot of people at a young age. I'm not talking about our elders. You know, our elders need us as a community. So I'm not shooting shots at the elder about being fit, because the community around you, to see that you need a community around you. So if you did have a slip and fall, I would know about it. It's not like I'm not having somebody come over there or coming to visit you on a daily basis to see what's going on, because that's the community that me and my wife promote. That's the village we promote. Miss Mary should always have somebody calling her house, making sure she's okay, because she's an elder and she stays at home all day. My grandmother-in-law, you know, we make sure we call her on a daily basis to make sure everything's okay, to make sure she didn't leave the air conditioner on and get too cold, or anything can happen. So the community I'm talking about, being fit, we have to, you know, surround us. And if we're not fit, our elders, we have to have people that around us that are fit, and that's mentally fit also, especially when it comes to health. If you have an elder in your family, or somebody that's sickly or sick or bedridden in your family, it's your job, and I'm talking to my people, it's your job to find out how you can be of assistance, whether that's educating yourself, or helping that person be a little more comfortable, or helping that person become more educated on their issues, their sickness, and just helping in most things. Like they said, some stuff is genetic. So, you know, be on the lookout for the same, and some stuff's not. So be on the lookout for the same thing. If my mother died from cancer, my grandmother died from cancer, so on and so forth, I'm going to be looking out on the things that can possibly make me more high risk for cancer, because I've seen my mom, my grandmother, my cousin, my brother go through it. So we have to be, as a community, we have to be consciously aware of that also, and we have to be with our elders through these things, or we won't know. Point blank. We should have, I don't see why, you know, in our community, we don't have our own life alert systems and stuff like that for our community. I hate seeing, me and my wife hate, we say it all the time, when we see, like, an elder person grocery shopping. It might be their choice, but we just hate seeing it, in a grocery store by themselves, loading bags in the trunk, in a parking lot, and it's getting dark. Defenseless by themselves. We feel for them. We're like, man, somebody should be with them. When we see a 90-year-old or elder driving 10 miles an hour in a 50, we honking and stuff. When we find out it's the elder, we kind of feel for them, and we feel it shouldn't be that way. We feel they should have somebody to say, you ain't got to drive today. I'm going to do that. Because, most of our elders have been there for somebody, have raised kids and raised grandkids and, raised community, and so we should be there. And sometimes those elders don't have to be related to us for us to be there for them. Like I said, I'm talking about being fit and being able to help somebody else out if need be. I don't know the particulars on it, but me and my wife were talking to a couple maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and they said it was an elderly man who had a car accident down there on Beauregard, and I think he hit a wall, and they said he was 90. And me and my wife looked at each other like, 90? Like, why is he even, why is he driving? I think he was going to pick up some, they said he shouldn't be driving. I agree. I think he was going to pick up some medication or something like that. So he wasn't just driving because he loved driving so much. He was driving because he needed to get his medication. He was trying to get, and this is, I don't know the full story. This is just what we discussed out here on a park bench. So I don't want to offend anybody if I'm talking about your family member or anything like that. But, I do believe that as a 90-year-old elder in my family, and I had the ability, I would have tried my hardest to link you up with somebody else in the family. Even if I couldn't do it, link you up with somebody else in the family that could have did that or handled that piece of business for you. Made sure you had somebody else in the community maybe to come over, and we do a medicine pickup. We got a medicine pickup today. We go around the community, and me and my wife have so many dreams for community and community unity and love and village. So many ideas that I wish we can just implement through, even if it's through grants, through our own services, but, our elders, they need people to shop for them or take them out and help them be self-sufficient, help them be whole and fit again. You never know how far some generosity to our elders do for them. I'm talking about expanding lifespans, so on and so forth. So definitely. But like I say, back to being fit. It's definitely important for us to be fit. I'm sorry. Do you have anything to add, sister? Because I know I be talking and rambling. So back to being fit. So it's important for us to be here and be fit. A lot of us have kids in our 20s, teenagers. We're 35, 40. We want to still be able to go out there, shoot some hoop with the kids, throw the ball with the kids, chase the kids, chase other kids away from your kids, especially your daughters. So you want to be able to, enjoy your life instead of having them be responsible for you at an old but young age. So, do you have anything to add, babe?
Excuse me. I would just like to add that being fit is one of the necessities of life, I believe. It's very important, like we said, to be able to get out of situations if need be, not just getting out of dangerous situations. Like my husband said, being with your children and your family and being able to enjoy, really have a high quality of life once you start putting some positivity back into your mental, spiritual, and physical. Also being the support system for others. You may not be the one that needs to get fit at that moment, whatever aspect that is, but you can definitely be the support system for someone else. We all need that. We reiterate talking about the village, and it's up to you or us to decide what type of village that we will be around. But I just, like I said, recommend everyone grab a family member, grab a buddy, grab an elder, and try to make a difference in your community. I'm going to start soon, probably in the next week or so. I'm going to go to our local park where we already do after-school tutoring, and I'm just going to go up there, have my speakers and music, and just do a free workout for just anyone who wants to come and work out. I really want to gear it towards the sisters, but like I said, everybody is welcome out there. It's going to be absolutely free. Like I said, I know it's financially tough for a lot of us out here, so like I said, just doing it for free and getting fit and having fun and having the camaraderie and just having the unity and love and support of the community is what the mission is with that. Hopefully it'll catch on like wildfire and we'll get more people than I expect, but I'm really looking forward to that. It's something I've been wanting to do, and my husband was like, just go ahead and do it and don't charge for it, which made it even easier for me. So I'm looking forward, and I will keep you posted on that. We'll definitely bring that back up next week, and I'll let you know the location, the time, date, all that good stuff. But like I said, reiterating, back to being a support system for others is so important in this journey for everybody. So like I said, I recommend that everybody do the buddy system. Grab a friend, like I said, family, elder, do something nice for them, do something nice with them, and like I said, just bring that village state of mind back to the forefront because it's much needed.
So we're going to get to our next subject, our next topic, which is healthy families. So what does it mean to have a healthy family? The first thing that comes to mind with me is relationships and healthy ties with your family. And one of our things that we love to talk about is unity. So unity amongst your family and the people in your family. So healthy families. And also, when it comes to healthy family, we're talking about physical health. So as the leaders of our family we're responsible for teaching healthy habits to our youth. Again, the generational mentoring, the generational habits. We're cutting generational curses and we're doing generational life. Again, we were talking about the unhealthy eating habits. Scientifically showing, they've done many studies showing that if we teach our kids healthy eating habits or healthy habits in general while they're young, they're more likely to take those healthy habits into adulthood and use them and pass them on. So one of our things that we do in our household is we talk bad about meat. So our kids, even if they do desire meat, they know where it comes from. We teach them exactly how they slaughter the animal, so on and so forth. And we always encourage our kids to try new fruits and try new vegetables, so on and so forth, in hopes that when they become adults, they don't have to be starting a healthy journey because they've been living one their whole life. So they don't have to be like their parents and wait till they're grown and say, oh, I want to go on a diet, or, oh, I want to start eating healthy. I want them to be able to already have that mindset growing up so they'll be able to influence their peers. And I could give you a short story about me going to, my daughter was in kindergarten last year, and I volunteered often, and I used to go to lunch with her in her class. And I noticed on this particular day they had carrots and brownies. So all the kids usually eat their food, and they ask the teacher, can they eat the brownie, and the teacher gives them permission. So since I was there, they were asking me, could they eat the brownie? And I was like, of course not, you can't eat that brownie, because none of the kids ate any of their carrots, including my kids. And these were cooked carrots. And all the kids, I said, man, why aren't you guys eating your carrots? And they all said, they're nasty. And I asked them when the last time they had carrots. And none of them said, I don't eat them because they nasty. So the point is, most of the kids had never even tasted carrots, let alone to be able to judge them. They just heard other kids say that they were nasty vegetables. So all the kids that were in my voice range, because we were in the cafeteria, I made them eat their carrots. I said, all right, if y'all eat a few of your carrots, you can have your brownies. So all of them popped a few carrots in their mouth, chewing. I didn't hear too many words coming out. I think it was one young man that was like, no, I just can't eat them. You still there, sister?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, I was just making sure. Sheena wanted me to make sure because she think I talk too much.
I didn't hear you.
No, she
I
did.
thought we lost you.
She basically telling me I talk too much. Okay,
no,
so
I'm listening, and I'm trying not to laugh because I know what the story. I hear the story.
So back with the kids, they're chewing and chewing. Next thing I know, all the kids around they ate all their carrots. All the carrots are gone. They even forgot about the brownie. And I was asking them, what did you like about the carrots? They're like, man, the carrots are sweet. I didn't know carrots are sweet. And I was like, exactly, because you have to try them. So next time and every time after I was with them, they always make sure to tell me that they ate their carrots at home when they're out in the restaurant. So they don't mind ordering carrots when their parents get carrots. And they now eat all of their vegetables, or they at least try them because they might be missing out on something as good as carrots. So now they try their broccoli, they try their peas and string beans. And usually at lunch you have no supervision except for your teacher, and the teacher has 20 kids and she's trying to make sure you guys don't throw food at each other. She's not going to be too much worried about you not eating your vegetables or not eating this or eating your vegetables. They're just trying to make it through without a catastrophe. So like I say, it was my job, it was my duty to teach the kids a little something, and they'd be able to pass it on. And now my little girl, she's even more zealous about the love of teaching people about the right things to eat. So she takes her own lunch to school, and she kind of boycotts the school lunches unless they have fruits and vegetables. So if they have a hamburger, she's gonna whip her lunch out with her peanut butter jelly sandwich and in place of her hamburger and her veggie straw, so on and so forth. And other kids ask why, and she just tells them, she doesn't eat meat and enjoy more vegetables. Which kids have conversations like adults do. Why you don't eat meat, or why don't you eat meat? And she explains to them that I just don't like eating animals, and kids get to visualize them eating an animal. Kids, when we say chicken, you want to eat some chicken, kids don't visualize a chicken moving around with feathers, so on and so forth. When we say, adults don't even think about it. The only time we think about a chicken is somebody says farm or McDonald's. We don't think about that's an animal, Yeah,
right.
With a family with feelings, and but really we don't think about that.
Until you go in the country and see a chicken being processed.
Right. I was watching something with the cows, and they just was doing a cow so bad, and the cows they was looking sad, and anyway. So again, we have to break these.
I haven't eaten anything like that in 3 or 4 years, so we good.
Awesome. It's people eating right now like, man, y'all cold for that. but it's all good. Enjoy your animals. But again, back to breaking these generational curses with our kids. If we teach our kids healthy habits now, they're going to take it into adulthood, and it's going to be no problem then on for them to pass those habits to your future generations. And that includes social habits within a family. So, we have those family members that don't show up to nothing or wouldn't care about a family event if you put one on. And then you have those family members who are in contact with almost every person in the family. So teaching our kids, teaching our family to be social with family, like I'm using my wife's family, for example. My family, not so much, but, picnics, gatherings, get-togethers for no reason. It doesn't have to be a holiday. It could just because it's a nice sunny day and we know it's going to be some good weather next week and it look like barbecue weather or picnic weather or gathering weather. Let's do it as a family. So passing on those traditions, those cultures, those ways, some of the things we're passing down to our kids, and they'll tell you when you meet them, if you ask them what do they do and they like to do, they're going to say feed the people, clothe the people, be amongst the community people. When they say feed the people, they're talking about, we help feed the homeless. We do feed the homeless. As of late, we've been kind of slacking due to financial difficulties, but, when we can, we're down there feeding the homeless, making sandwiches if need be, or making meals, 4 meals with potatoes and beans and spaghetti, making 4 meals for the homeless or sandwiches and apples if need be. But we're teaching our kids to be selfless, good stewards, good humans to our people and to humanity in general. We teach our kids the love of environment and why it's important to protect the environment, why it's important not to go beat those trees up, why it's important not to litter. So we teach our kids this not because it's cliche or not because it's the thing to do. It's because we want our future generations to be a little bit better than us. Morally, when it comes to thinking about the environment, like I say, socially, when it comes to building relationships, especially we're talking about family health here, especially amongst family, because too many families are torn apart for small beefs or I'm not talking to her because it is, and they ain't talked to each other in 10, 15 years because of, too many times families are torn apart. So I want to teach our kids, and we need to be teaching our kids good values, good principles. And we also don't want to limit our kids either. So along with these principles and values, we don't want to put our kids in this strict box of this is all you can do, this is the only thing you can think of. We want to give them the freedom to think, the freedom to move around, but we just want to break the bad habits and encourage new good habits. So point blank. You want to elaborate on that, you guys?
No, I'm going to let you go ahead and do what it do.
So,
definitely.
So, like I said, eating habits, school habits, a lot of us, I love school probably for different reasons than other people. I really didn't care about school academically, but I love being social at school, so I love being around people. My daughter, she picked up reading, or she picked up putting books in her face at an early age. So we always encouraged that. We always kept books around her, and always. So she naturally picked up reading from just looking at pictures and other things. So when she went to school, she's a top reader in her class right now. That was encouraged.
That's awesome.
She's reading that. I gave her a 3rd grade book yesterday, and she's having no problems with none of the words. And I'm pretty sure she could probably go a couple of grades reading higher than that. But she's in 1st grade, and like I said, yesterday she was reading, was it Mark Henry? John Henry. She was reading John Henry, 3rd grade level book fluently. So, and that's because my mom, that was one of the things my mom encouraged in us, was reading. I used to have to come home, and I could imagine myself, rambunctious as I was, coming home after school, having to sit down for 15 minutes to an hour reading out loud to my mom. And I hated it. I've never liked sitting there reading out loud, especially out loud. And I'd rather and sometimes she used to let me sit there and read in my head, but most of the time she made me read out loud. So as an adult, I thank her for that because I do love to read, and I can comprehend when I read easily. So I don't have to read something 14 times just to get what it says, and that's a problem in our community. And I'll talk about community health in a minute. But so that was encouraged in my family, so that's one of the positive things I'm passing down to my kids. is the love of reading.
Right.
And reading everything, newspapers. I don't care what you read it. We did a walk in what was the trail called? I think it's called the Historical Whistler Trail. It starts behind the Blunt Pritchard Stadium, and but anyway, we had to walk under it's a new trail right there. It's nice. It's probably, my friend says it's a mile, but I think it's about 2 miles, and he tricked us to walk to the end, but it was a good little experience. And it's a good little piece of jewel in Pritchard that we can, talk about more. But we walked under the under the freeway part, and my little girl was reading the graffiti, and she turned red, and she was sitting there, and I was like, "What's wrong with you?" And she was like, "Man," I think she was like, she didn't want to tell me because she was, she's silly. And she was like, "I read a cuss word." And she was like, "Oh my God, it was a cuss word. Somebody wrote a cuss." And I'm like, "Where?" And she can read everything now, so she can identify cuss. And it's so funny because she doesn't read in her head. She's in first grade, so she sounds everything out. So for her to sound the cuss word out, she was mad at herself for saying the cuss word, but proud at herself for reading it. But and we laughed at it, and it was real funny. So, but again, we're past. Yeah, it's so sweet. But we're passing down good habits to our kids, even with the eating fresh fruits. And my kids they don't mind eating chips and all the negative stuff, but they're gonna get fresh fruits and vegetables. They love fruits and vegetables. When we go in the store, that's we spend most of our time in the produce, looking at what's on sale first, and then going around looking at the fresh fruits and vegetables. And the kids love trying a different variety of things. Our newest thing we tried was we had some red pears. So if you guys see some red pears at the grocery store right now, it's a fall thing. Grab some. They're juicy and they're sweet and they're wonderful. That's the newest thing my kids have tried. So, passing down good health habits to our kids. Again, teaching our kids that that health or that being fit is important, especially for our kids. If our kids can't run and our kids can't get out of the face of danger or defend themselves or run from a dog or hop a gate, that's our fault. There's nobody to blame but the parent. And I know it's so easy for us, even that with our younger kids, it's so easy for us to just sit our kids in front of a screen of some sort and just, lose a whole hour of time, and my kid is playing Bubble Pop on the phone, or my kid is playing Candy Crush on the phone. I mean, my little girl could spend an hour like nothing without even blinking an eye on the tablet. So can my 3-year-old and my 4-year-old. I'm talking about without blinking an eye on any phone. I'm talking about phones without a game on it. They'll be on it all day, or even sitting them in front of a TV. We do our kids a disservice a lot of times, and I know it's because we're tired. I know it's because it's just easier to do. But, we're doing our kids a disservice when we're just throwing them in front of screens, and it's sunlight outside, and it's the weekend, and they have time to go outside, and there's bikes outside resting. We do our kids a disservice, beautiful parks out there. And I know our society's set up to where we have to work and we have to do this, and we have to use our time trying to survive. But it's important for our kids to get from in front of those screens. Now, again, in the event of you can't get your kids in front of the screen, you have to put things on the screen that's going to be beneficial for your kids. So as me personally, I have a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old. They pretty much can play the same brain games together. So we're going to be playing. If you want to play on this phone or this tablet or on this TV or however we have it, you're going to be learning. So you're going to be learning about your ABCs. You're going to be learning about reptiles and things with my little girl. If you want to be on a tablet, here's some books I downloaded on this tablet for you to read. Here's some informational things for you to do. Here's some math games for you to do. because we always want to be improving our kids and passing down those good habits and good traits. So some of the things we can do to be a healthy family or to promote healthy family. And one of the things my wife talks about, and I'm pretty sure everybody talks about, is, and we lack doing it sometime, but at least the kids are able to do it, but it's to eat together and spend calculated, planned time together as a family. So one thing we can start doing is sharing meals together. And I know a lot of times we have more people than chairs in a lot of our houses because that's how, that's how it's set up for us. But, having sit-down time with your family to eat, to enjoy a meal, or to sit down in front of a TV to enjoy a family movie, to enjoy a family game night, to enjoy family conversation. If you have a family full of ladies, to enjoy a spa night at home. Fellas, I don't know what the fellas could do. We can just sit around and talk. But definitely enjoying time with your family, especially planned time. And I'm going to share one of the things me and my family like to do is we like family movie night. So we let the kids pick a movie, and I usually argue them down about what movie we watching tonight. So we always come to a compromise, and we always end up on Major Payne or Sandlot. So those are some of our favorite movies we watch during family movie night. So I promote everybody to enjoy a family night, a game night, or I know in our culture we like to eat together. So, and when we do cook the good foods, healthy foods, but enjoy meals together. Sit down at the tables again and enjoy meals together and talk and have the family time. Build those social relationships back up with our brothers and sisters. Build those relationships. Forgive. Talk to people you haven't talked to in a while. Call people. You don't know how it feels when somebody calls, especially a family member. You didn't call your auntie you ain't talked to in a long time, and you call her and you say, "Auntie, I'm just calling you because I just wanted to tell you I love you." And ain't no reason behind this call. I just wanted to tell you I love you. I just wanted to tell you, hey, I'm thinking about you. That feels good to a person. Imagine if somebody, one of your cousins or one of your nephews or nieces or aunties or uncles did that for you and just called you and said, I just wanted to call you because I love you and I was thinking about you. Do that for somebody. Maybe start a chain. Start a chain of that in the family of somebody calling just to say I love you. And too many times we lose family members and we wish. I wish I could have. I regret I didn't. So let's start this now. Tell people you love them. That's a sign of healthiness. That helps people. That does so much to people when you smile at them or tell them you love them or pass that positive energy to them. It does so much for them. So you can start that amongst your family. It makes people feel good. Just saying I love you, or I've been thinking about you, or sister, you shining bright today. Mm-hmm. Makes people feel good. So, and a lot of people aren't comfortable telling a random person, hey, sister, you look good, or I love you. It's hard for some people to. So, family members, your mother. Right. When the last time we told our mothers or daughters or sons, I love you, our fathers, I love you, or, ask genuinely, how was your day? A lot of times we say it just because it's a cliche thing to say when you see somebody, hey, how was your day? And you really don't wait for a response before you telling them about your day or, going on to the next question. Genuinely ask somebody, how was your day today? And when they say fine, tell them, inquire, what was so fine about it? Let me know, or, let them talk about it. Be a ear or a shoulder to lean on, even when a person's not expecting it. It's even more better. It's more positive energy, genuine, sincere, sincereness going back and forth. So definitely, again, another thing we can do to build healthy families is talk about health and to how I want to say this. It's a family. So one of our favorite words here is accountability. So you want to talk about health, why health is important, why being fit is important, and actually coming together as a family to accomplish that goal. So if Mama always goes to the store and she gets, pork chops, you know what I'm saying? It's on us kids to say, Mom, I thought we were trying to be more healthy, or let's get something else besides these hot dogs, or let's go over here and try these veggie this or veggie that. So again, the family has to be on the same page to build a healthy family. You want to add anything else to the healthy family? Some good healthy habits you could pass down?
Yes, one of the healthy habits I would like to pass down that my dad started when I was very, very young is we always had family caucuses, which is a, family meeting. Not necessarily when we were eating all the time, but just because. My father was always involved with us when we were young, and he's still involved with us as adults. He always was concerned with what's going on in our lives, what concerns and what issues that we had going on that we felt were important that maybe nobody else did. But like I said, we always had that family time together, which was always important. We weren't even allowed to eat nowhere else but in the kitchen, so we had no choice but to sit at the table and talk to each other and discuss everything that was going on. And so I think that's one of the things I personally, like I said, I could bring back to my family. I don't necessarily do it as much as I should, but like I said, that's where the open dialogue comes from, because I could tell my dad pretty much anything, like I said, because of that open dialogue that we always have with each other. So I think it's very important if we can, like I said, just sitting down and eating at the dinner table together is something very simple, but you'd be surprised at how much you probably don't know about your family members that you live with, that you really don't know their interests and what they like and what they don't like, and because we're all separated now, especially in the age of technology with the cell phones and texting and the iPads and all that stuff. Texting anyway just takes the intimacy out of having a conversation. People don't even pick up the phone anymore to talk to each other. So that's why a lot of things get lost in translation and all that. So it's always good to have that open dialogue, especially with your immediate family, that the people you're under the roof with, that you live with every day, as well as people you work with. I mean, it's not good to be in an uncomfortable work situation, because it is your work family, because you can't choose your work family like your real family. So it's about the same. I think it's good, like I said, to have those open discussions for sure, especially things that we don't necessarily talk about. It doesn't always, one thing my dad always iterated was, it doesn't always have to be bad when we sit down and have a family discussion. There's 9 times out of 10 it's not going to be. So that's another thing we have to do. Stop just talking to people when they did something bad. My dad is always good at telling people when they do a good thing, which is passed down to me because I do it all the time. So I go out of my way to tell people you're doing a good job, because it's easy, and like I said, it comes too easy, human nature, to tell people what they're doing wrong. So, like I said, all these things came from me just having family caucuses with my family and having, like I said, these open dialogues about life situations and how morally we should act as human beings to one another. So I recommend everyone, like I said, if you just have just dinner together, you will be surprised at how much you may not know about each other, or how much you do know about each other, and that's a wonderful feeling. So either way, like I said, the only way to go is up from there. So I just recommend everybody get that positive family interaction back together, and stop eating in your bedroom and getting crumbs on the floor and making your parents crazy. And, yeah, everybody's eating the kitchen together, and one good sweep, everything will be all right.
So
positive affirmation.
So one of the, I want to say the habit that I think we should stop passing down or stop perpetuating in our households is the teaching our kids to dislike the things that we dislike, or showing dislike for things that we dislike that our kids may like. Hence the carrots and the broccolis and the oh, if I didn't like broccolis, I wouldn't dare say it in front of my little girl because I would probably stop her from liking it. So I wouldn't say, I don't eat broccoli. I don't eat that. That's disgusting. Because we're their role models. We're the people they look up to. So she's going to be like, well, I don't eat broccoli either. Just like me, my family eat healthy, and we always talk about healthy stuff. Our kids always talk about healthy stuff and eating healthy. So a lot of times we block our kids from being healthy eaters or even trying new things because we've taught them not to eat things that are green or like things that are green, so on and so forth. I have an adult buddy who didn't want to eat something green because he said he didn't like how it was probably going to look in his stomach. It's like, bro, you're not going to see this green, I think it was a tortilla. You're not going to see this green tortilla in your stomach, so we have to stop cutting our kids off. Yeah, it's funny. We have to stop cutting our kids off from things that they might like by showing negative. We have to be encouraging for our kids to try new things even though we may not like it. My wife is allergic to citrus, so oranges and lemons and limes, but I'm pretty sure she wouldn't stop the kids from eating an orange or a grapefruit or a lime or so on and so forth. Yeah, we just got to stay away from her. We got to give her space. That's how we get her away from us. We peel an orange.
Same.
That's cold. So definitely. So I definitely cut that off. Don't do that to our kids and the people around us. So our last topic I wanted to cover tonight is it's gonna be quick. I'm tired. Is community health and what that looks like. And I always talk about community. Community is so important to me. And the same values that we hold in our community are the same values we should hold in our family. But we just have to prioritize and put family first. So building ties in the community just like you would build ties in your family. Building bridges in the community just like you would be building bridges in your family. So our community is the people that make up the collective around us, our neighborhoods, our however we group our communities in our society. In our case, it could be the people on our street. It could be the people that we our acquaintances that we come in contact with every day. So healthy communities, again, we're going to start with healthy relationships, healthy community relationships, knowing the people around you. If you knew all your neighbors, you would be more likely to be comfortable and to be happy when you're at home, when you're exiting your car from your house. You're not worried about somebody looking at how you get in your house, how many keys you're using, or did you leave your car door unlocked, because you know your friends, you know your neighbors, you know everybody who come up and down the street because you're a community person, because you're building relationships in your community, and that's with everybody in your community. I'm pretty sure the trash lady is not going to knock our trash down, or she's going to be more careful when she puts our trash stuff in because she knows us. She knows who my kids live here. She knows we love her. She's going to take the extra time, or if I come out late one day with the trash, she may double back and come get mine, or she may put the truck in reverse to get my trash can because I know her. We talked. We had conversations. I know a personal, even the talk. That's funny. I say the trash lady because just last month I gave her a breast cancer ribbon, and she parked the truck, and she stopped, and she told me the story of her mother and her family going through breast cancer problems and how much this ribbon means to her. So I got to know her on a personal level, and like I said, she wouldn't, if I can. Oh, and she had. We gave her one last year also, which she had. And I didn't talk to her last year, but she was able to stop this year and have a full conversation. We talked for about 30 minutes. So she really appreciated that because nobody knows. And like I said, it's because it's community. I'm a community person, and every time she sees us in a van, she blows the horn. She blows the horn for the kids because the kids love the truck. And I say that story to say these are the type of relationships we should be building with everybody in our community that we come in contact with, the youngsters, the elders, and everybody else in between. The mailman, UPS man, we need to know the people in our community. We need to know the people in our village We need to know the people that when we let our kids outside, we need to know the people that our kids will be seeing, who our kids will be emulating when they come back in the house, when they're around their peers. So it's best to know. And it just feels good to have a sense of community, and you come outside and you could say, hey, Sister Johnson, sister this, brother that. You know everybody, and everybody smiling and waving. It feels good. You know, you could walk in people's yard and say, hey, so you could just talk about anything and, you know, what you cooking today and all. It just feels good. And that's something that our generation lacks, that we haven't, you know, our elder generations, they were almost forced to be in communities and have to know everybody because of the conditions our society was in during their time. So a lot of people lived through the 30s, the Depression and stuff. You ain't had no choice but to be family and be in a household with other families and all your cousins. You ain't had the recession. You ain't had no choice. So now, you know, it's easier for us to be separated from our grandmothers and mothers and people going out earlier in college, so on and so forth. We lack. And like us, me and my family are nomadic. Even with my mom, we always, seemed like every year we would jump into another city, another school. We never really had a good sense of community around us, you know, and that's why I always ran back to what I consider my hood, the place I grew up in with my gang, you know, with my fellas, my partners. I always ran back to them because that's what I felt my community was, because I felt I never had a community. Anyway, I don't want to get into all that, but I say that to say community is important. We that village you put around you is important. That you put around your kids, that influence you every day is important. Knowing, I think I have relationships with the all the stores I go to, the gas stations, the we know all the ladies in line at Winn-Dixie, and you know we know it because we talk and people feel good. People feel good just to see us coming because they know we're happy and we're loving people.
And let me interject on that one. He was talking about our friends in the store, and because a lot of times he goes to the store, and I'm not with him because we try to kind of kill two birds with one stone a lot of times. But women, sisters, if you're in a relationship, let me tell you, this jealousy thing and all that stuff, you have to have, because like I said, when I go and Winn-Dixie and my husband said, oh, that's my friend, I'm going to tell you, I get in line and I tell her, my husband always tell me how nice you are to him when he come in the store and he in line, and I just wanted to tell you thank you. You don't always have to have that negative, but I make it a point to go, especially for the sisters. I go out of my way for them and make it a point to compliment them, especially on the job well done. Like I said, me and my husband have that relationship where he will come and tell me about a woman. Oh, she's natural, she was pretty, and I want you to meet her when you go in the store. And then I go in the store, and the people behind me looking at me crazy because I'm like, yeah, my husband been telling me about you, and he did say you were pretty. And they looking at me like I'm crazy, and they can't believe I'm saying this about my husband to another woman. But it's all in, like I said, it's all in black love and unity, and that's what we do. So like I said, as far as a sister's point of view, please, like I said, we have to come together and not have that jealous bone in our body and start really uplifting each other. It's not that hard at all, and it'll catch on faster than you think.
Yeah.
That's right.
Definitely, that positive energy can be passed so swiftly to the next person, and we shall be doing it. We shall smile at people and tell them it's a wonderful day. Tell people that they're beautiful. Uplift people's spirits. I think you have the same effect on a little baby telling them they're beautiful to all the way to one of our elders that's telling them they're beautiful. I think you'll pretty much have the same effect on no matter what age you tell somebody, a high school kid, an elementary kid, 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old, you tell them they're beautiful and watch how they get an energy from you. Tell them it's all good. Tell them you love them for no reason. Have a wonderful day when they're not expecting it. And watch that energy be passed to them, and I think and you're gonna get it right back. So again, man, building healthy communities, building healthy families, throwing that positive energy out there, throwing those positive vibes out there for your neighbors. One thing we used to talk about, but we don't talk about much, is respect. So having respect goes a long way when you have a community and have a village. Because I think the definition of respect is what we used to teach kids is treating people how you want to be treated. People how you want to be treated in your community, and everything will be all good. You want people to watch out for your stuff. You want people to report to you if they see some suspicious behavior around your house. You want people to have your back.
Right.
If you have to talk to a city councilman about this pothole in the street. If you don't know your community, how they gonna have your back? They gonna think you an old troublemaker or something that keep making trouble over here on our street, making the people come. If they don't know that you're trying to get this pothole fixed or this eyesore fixed down the street. So it's up to us to build our community. And again, what do healthy communities look like? One of the things I'm always going to talk about is how we leave these communities to our kids. So do we want to leave when a community is also environment, do we want to leave a messed up community or messed up environment to our kids, especially due to us or the lack of our responsible, the barometer? People talk about the environmental moral barometer that we have in our bodies or should have. We neglected it our whole life. We didn't vote for a better transit system where we can get away from these smoky cars. We didn't hold our city councilmen accountable for not burning so much coal and instead of or burning coal instead of promoting solar panels. We're not promoting alternative fuels to burn. We're not promoting a healthy environment, a healthy lifestyle to improve our environment. So in 100, 200 years, when our kids are burning up because the ozone layer has holes in it everywhere, we can contribute that to us not caring. Us having the knowledge to know that our earth is under attack environmentally, and us not having the gusto or the courage to say something about it and to start holding our leaders accountable. Environmental health is one of the most important things that we have, because once this environment goes, we go, point blank. The environment, we depend on the environment. The environment doesn't depend on us, but we've destroyed it so much it now depends on us because we've destroyed. When they say fossil fuels, that's exactly what they're taking out the ground. Fossil fuels, old fuels that have been in the ground for thousands of years and turned to fuel, or fossils that have turned into this fossil fuel able to burn. And we don't need it anymore like we used to. The only reason they're pulling this stuff, only reason they're beating our earth up in many different ways, from the fossil fuels, from burning coal and steel coal mining, is because of the dollar. It's point blank. It's because of capitalism. If we don't stand up to capitalism, our future generations are gonna suffer because of us, especially environmentally. So when we look out that door and we're able to breathe this nice, good air, think about China. Think about California. Every time my family drove or rode the Greyhound from Alabama to California, or in particularly from Alabama to L.A., everybody on the bus be like, look, y'all, we can see the smog. We can see the smog. As soon as we going into L.A., you could just see a big smog ball over L.A., and it's even worse in China. And people in China they can't come outside without having a mask on, or if they do come outside, the government tells them it's at your own risk. They're getting cancer from coming outside, breathing air. They got these big smog pockets that just sit over the city. So if we want this for our future generations, we should just sit around and let it happen. So again, I say healthy communities. We want to pass on healthy communities and healthy habits in our communities. We want to teach our kids to have respect for our store owners and our elders in the community. We want to teach our kids to have collective work and responsibility in our community. everybody's responsible for everybody in our community. We should need police in our community because we know go back to the old style. We know Miss Johnson, Miss Thelma, Miss everybody gonna get their hand on you before you get home, and then when you get home, you got the whole family to handle business too. So when we get back to that, I think we'll be all right. Collective economics is another thing that we need to pass down to our kids. When one of our brothers and sisters open up a store in the community, as hard as it is for us to get loans as black people, to secure loans from banks and other financial institutions to open up stores and open up a place of business, it's hard. So when we do have black people who open up a legitimate point blank, there's no reason if I sell vegetables, if I sell fruits and vegetables, and I have a competitive price with Greer's and Winn-Dixie, there's no reason you should be going to Greer's and Winn-Dixie. I'm your community. I'm in your community. The dollars that you spend with me will go back to your community. Ain't nothing coming out the community when you come into me. And when somebody does something, when somebody opens up a business, it's our duty to support them so they can recycle those dollars back into our community. Winn-Dixie is not cycling many dollars back into the black community. Walmart's not doing it. I mean, they do grant programs and stuff like that, but as much money as comes out of our community, we don't nearly see that much coming back. Versus somebody who opens up let's say a restaurant in the black community, most likely they're going to go spend back in their same community, especially if they live there, instead of taking that money out because they now have a stake in that community because their business is in that community. They want to see the rest of the community look beautiful so people can be attracted to their business, so on and so forth. So healthy communities, healthy relationships, and just practicing unity, both with community and with your family. The number one thing you can do or the number one principle that I say is important is the unity and love. So in your family, I promote, and I suggest all of us to promote unity and to be building positive relationships and to be building those bridges back with people that we may have not talked to no more, or we may have hard feelings against, because once those people are gone, we're going to feel a certain type of way. And I'm a believer in honoring people while they're alive. So show the love, show the unity in your community and amongst your family, and I think all of us will be healthier and better tomorrow. Again, to recap a little bit about what we talked about today, being fit. It's very important to be fit. You never know when you'll be in a situation that you'll need to be able to move a little bit faster, move out the way, push something off you, help somebody out. You just never know when you'll have to catch yourself from falling, anything. So, again, I encourage everybody to be more fit than they were the day before and realize and send on that message to our younger generation. We also talked about the positive male role models, brothers, kings out there. Let's hold ourselves to the highest standard that we possibly can. Let's show the world that we fear none, but we would not be held down by the social stigmas and the stereotypes that are floating around here. We would not be just tied or constricted to that. Definitely hold yourselves in high esteem in the community, especially around our youth. Grab a young man and mentor them. I believe every man has heard something from another man that was life-changing, or you said, man, I wish I'd known that when I was a kid. Grab a kid and tell them. Tell them something that you wish you would have known when you were 16, you were 15, you were 14. Grab a kid and say, man, you know what? I just want to tell you, when I was 15, I wish I would have known this. And you tell them. And you mean it, and you let them know. I challenge all our men to do that, and our women as well. Grab a young sister, young queen, and tell her something at her age that you wish you would have knew, or you wish somebody would have pulled over and told you. The next thing we talked about we're talking about family health. It is important to build these family relationships and to keep healthy relationships among your family, because when they're gone, they're gone. Honor your people while they're alive. Tell them you love them. Pass on I hate seeing, what are they called? Chain mails in the inbox, chain letters, and somebody done said, pass this on to 10 people. We need to do that in real life with our family. Go pass a 10-second hug on to your family member, and or pass a I love you on, pass a message on. Tell your mama you finna call, let her go to the answer machine and leave her a message that she could play back, make her feel good when she's down. It's a lot of different things we could do. Come up with creative ways to promote love and positive energy in our family. And last but not least, we talked about health in our communities and what we would like to see our communities look like health-wise. And there's so many different aspects of that we didn't touch on, but just the environmental health-wise in our community is so important. We have to know what's going on environmental-wise in our community. We don't have too much time to talk about it, but 21 million plus gallons of crap, human feces, have been spilled into Mobile waterways this year alone. 21 million plus. If we don't know that, then how can we do something about it? How can we start holding the mayor and the city councilmen and women accountable for why this sewage spills happen so often in Mobile, and why it's in our waterways where we would want to fish and eat from, and so on and so forth. I wanted to get into that. And again, building healthy relationships in your community with your neighbors and the people of your community, whether it be trash woman or trash man, mailman or woman, fire department, police. The people in your community are important. They're your community. They're going to be the people that are going to be there when you're away from your house. They're going to be the people that are going to be there when your kids are outside, when you're outside. Sometimes we have youngsters on the corner. If they don't know certain behavior offends you, then how do they know to straighten up around you? Because they don't even know you. So they don't know them sagging their pants offends you, and when they see you, they need to be pulling them up. Or they don't know that some of the vulgar language that they use offends you, so how would they know to, when they see you, to straighten up? So it behooves us to get to know the people in our communities, youngsters to elders, elders to youngsters, to the kids in our communities. Know who's moving in next door to us. With that being said, I'm pretty much finished. You guys want to add anything?
I just want to say love, 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 love. We like you said, your song that you mentioned last week, all we need is love. It's true. If we do that, like I said, it shall spread like a good disease. We're going to make diseases a good thing now. So love is a good disease that we all need to be catching around here.
Let it be a domino effect, just trickle down to everyone.
Right. And again, just want to tell everybody, we definitely love you, and pass the love on. Pass these positive habits on to our kids, to our future generations. For those who don't have kids, to your nephews, nieces, grab them, tell them you love them. So many things concern me. I probably watch too many talks and look at too many stats about our youth and about our kids and how they're suffering. Sometimes they don't even know it because it's behaviors in our community we've normalized. And, we've normalized talking foul and beating our kids and telling our kids to shut up and get out of here. Sometimes that's normal in households where it shouldn't be. So tell these kids, I say that to say that's a whole other conversation for a whole other time. Tell these kids you love them. Kids and everybody, tell the elders you love them. That's one of the most powerful things we can do today. And with that being said, I love you guys. I love everybody out there.
I love everyone. Love, peace, and health. And have a good night, Queen Katrina.
So we'll talk to everybody again soon.
You've been listening to Breaking Chains with Healthy Monday on YAT Radio. Tune in next week, same time.
Go to our website,
blogtalkradio.com/YAT Radio, or call in 858-357-9137. It's Breaking Chains, YAT Radio, where we leave a mark that can't be erased by breaking the chains of silence.